Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather.
with Women in Leadership. Welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and we love coming together and bringing new entrepreneurs to you to meet and love and enjoy as much as we do. And boy, are we blessed today.
Today at the table, we have Angela Hall, that helpful chick. And let me tell you, she is one helpful chick. She does all kinds of really cool stuff for her clients, and I will let her introduce herself. But we met Angela at Coach Jackie's Freedom and Adventure Retreat in North Carolina about a couple weeks ago. And she is just a phenomenal person, and I couldn't wait for you guys to meet her. Angela, go ahead and introduce yourself and say hello.
Hi. So yes, my business is That Helpful Chick. I consider myself a professional problem solver, miracle worker, and tech geek. So I have a small team of virtual assistants, and we take care of all the back-end technology for our clients, which can be anything like websites, membership sites, payment processors, CRMs, email services, video editing, pretty much everything except social media and writing content. We don't do either of those. And I've been doing this. Yeah. So you have to go to the gals here. They'll take care of you on that end. And I've been doing this for a little over 10 years now. And I love that I can make my own schedule, work when I want, travel. Yeah, it's great.
Excellent. So, after talking with Angela a little bit about what was on her heart and things today, I think we discovered that we all kind of wanted to talk about Jackie's retreat, Freedom and Adventure Retreat, which was phenomenal and life-changing for all 18 women involved. And I know it changed my life for the good. And I was able to process some pretty heavy stuff over the week. And really it was 3 days, right? And
it felt like a lot more time. It was so abundant in energy and connection.
Yeah,
it didn't. I was like, wow, this was just the first day. Wait, that was still today. That happened today. Wow.
Yeah.
it's pretty
time kind of stands still.
So let's start with how we got there, because you went on your own unique journey just to get there, just like we did, right? Would you mind sharing how you got there?
Sure. So a year ago, February, one of my other clients referred Jackie to me to build her website. And as I was helping her create her website, and in talking with her, she's just one of those people, and it's hard to put a finger on it, but once you have conversations with her and you start to get to know her, you don't ever want her out of your life. It's just like a no-brainer. And so then I joined her weekly membership, and then I joined her mastermind, and then her one-on-one coaching. And then so when she said she was going to have a retreat in the Outer Banks in North Carolina, I was like, oh yeah, I got to go to that. So yeah, it's there are no accidents. We were meant to meet, and I told her she's not getting ready to meet anytime soon.
I love that. I know for us, it was the moment we met her, we just knew we needed to be in her space. Like, seriously, her energy is so amazing. Like the joy, the connecting to yourself that she brings out in each of us, right?
The authenticity, the no bullshit attitude, the Italian hands, right?
I love
that. She's a force. She's a force of nature, and she comes in this cute little package. And she just like magnetic, right? She walks into a room, she asks a question, and magic happens. Like, I don't know how else to describe how she does what she does, because she does it so well and so naturally and so authentically. And because of her vulnerability and her creating that safe container for us, we really opened up a lot of stuff for ourselves and working through our own stuff. And she just created a safe space for us to do that over the course of like 3 days. You know, we were laughing, we were crying, we were hugging, we were dancing, we were singing, we were doing yoga on the beach. It was just a whole, like, almost like a spiritual journey. And by being vulnerable and open herself and creating that safe container allowed us to be open and vulnerable with each other.
And to just think, actually, the really thing that stood out to me was that she was able to bring these, 17, 18 women together, and there was no drama.
There was no drama.
Not one stitch.
Not one bit. Everybody there was just on the same vibe, like-minded, like same spiritual, emotional. It was incredible. I mean, I've been in it. Well, of course, it was family, but I was gonna say I've been in rooms with large amount, women staying in the same house, and it's never like that.
Yeah, we didn't have any weird arguments like, you took my hair dryer, or it wasn't that at all. Like, there was no, she does not put up with drama anyways, so she attracts people that don't put up with drama and don't create drama. Like, we don't take things personally, right? Like, that's one of the principles that we follow, is to not take things personally. And it was like having that community of people not taking things personally, knowing, it wasn't even like anybody was taking their crap out on anyone either, right? Like, we're just like all dealing with our own things, and we got to share it. Like, and there's so much power in putting a voice to what's going on, and then having the person sitting next to you who you don't even know say, you're not alone.
Right.
I've been there. Then I cried.
The parallel journeys that all of these women have had, there wasn't one person who was talking about their story and what they were processing that somebody wasn't like, yeah, me too.
No one was alone in what they faced. And we think it's because what we face is so personal to us, and we do create our own realities from, we've been talking about that a lot on the podcast lately, about showing up and everything comes from within, but we don't realize that other people have similar experiences to us, and they can show us how to come out on the other side. Or if they don't know how to, at least they walk with us, right? Like, hey, we should walk that together.
Yeah, very supportive group of women, and continuing to be so afterwards. Like, we have our little Facebook Messenger group and a regular Facebook group, and everybody is just sharing the thoughts and the feelings and the experiences since the retreat, and everybody is just so continuing to be supportive and sharing their love and knowledge and experience, and it's pretty incredible.
It is.
We created a sisterhood. Literally,
in 3 days.
In 3 days, like, seriously, the bonding that happened, that's Jackie's magic, right? Like, bringing us all together in her energy and creating, I like the way you say it, the container that allows for safely expressing ourselves and talking about those things we would never talk to somebody else about.
Right. Like me personally, I went to the retreat without expectation. You know, I was like, I'm going to let what happens happen. I'm not going to be attached to any specific outcome or idea or something that I want to work on for myself. I'm going for the experience, and what happens. Like and I heard that from a lot of the women. You know, they just were drawn to Jackie's energy and knew they had to be at the retreat, but weren't sure why. And by the end of the retreat, it was like, oh, this is why. And one of the gals actually did a card reading for me, and it was hilarious because my question was, why am I here? And I did the first reading in the morning on like the second day, you know, after everybody got there, and I just busted up laughing because it was basically like, you just need to chill. And literally the card was at the sea, right? So I'm at the sea with these amazing women, and I just need to just be and do the experience. But what I processed was 16 years and like 3 days ago, I lost a child, and I held the guilt and shame of that process that I went through, because I had to make certain choices during that process of losing my child, that I kept blaming myself for and holding that guilt and shame around all of this. And I was literally able to finally let that go. I walked out into the water and I let the waves wash over my legs and things because, well, it's cold. Still,
but salt water in the ocean, and
let it wash it out, and I let it go because none of that was my fault, and that I don't have to carry that guilt and shame with me anymore because it's not my fault. I made the best choices that I could given the cards I had. Period. So I'm not carrying that guilt and shame anymore.
It's so amazing, right? Because and to see you be able to write a letter to your son and publicly put it out there, like that was huge for you.
And I've talked about it a couple times on the podcast since the retreat and things like that, because I know I'm not the only one who has gone through child loss. I understand that my story is unique to me, but I also understand that other women have gone through similar things in the loss of a child, you know, including my sister, including one of the gals that was on the retreat who actually lost her child in a very similar manner that I did and had to make many of the same choices. I had never met another woman who had such a similar circumstance through the loss of a child. So I was able to process that with her, with the group, and by myself through the course of those 3 days. So when I walked away from the retreat, I left that guilt and shame on the beach in North Carolina. And I never have, I don't have to.
You don't ever have to pick it back up.
I don't have to pick it back up.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying that we're going to share all of our details of the personal things that we did or that anybody did, because that's not okay. But in our time, we will share different parts of our story that we maybe wouldn't have shared before.
Right.
I definitely feel much more confident in myself. I did not notice how fear had crept in and was holding me kind of hostage in one area of my life. And once I saw it, I was like, I got this. I know what to do with fear. Fear. Get out of here. So it's definitely it was life changing. Yeah, and the beauty and the fun. Oh man, so much fun. Laughing till we cried like multiple times. Like that's good for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jackie surprised us with the most wonderful excursion. I had so much fun exploring. We had the we had the better driver, I think. He was definitely kind-hearted. Yeah. And because we don't know what our bodies are always going to do in circumstances. And when we hopped out on the beach to go take the picture with the wild horses, I was like, how the hell am I gonna back up in this fucker? Back up in this thing. We were in a Hummer, like all lifted up, and like it was hard to climb in and out.
It wasn't so easy for me either, I can tell you that. Like I almost when they said that we were going to stop and get out, I almost said like, no, I think I'm just going to stay here.
I really debated it too, because I was like, my body's already angry, and you're gonna. And then when we jumped out and I jumped down onto the sand, I was like, I cannot believe my body just jumped and landed in. I'm like, well, at least it was the sand, like real
Well, if
sand.
you landed on your butt, you would have been fine.
Yeah, probably would have felt better.
Nice.
That's
So,
jarring.
So I mean, we all had some pretty huge takeaways from the retreat and things like that. It was pretty awesome, And Angela, did you have anything else you wanted to share about that?
Yeah, I had quite a few two breakthroughs that stuck out to me. I'll share one. One's still a little personal and intimate at the moment. But one was I tend to be a talker. Like I like to talk, and I'll talk about, especially if I get on a subject that I'm really passionate about. And I'll talk to anybody. Doesn't matter. I'll talk your ear off if you let me. And it dawned on me because I've been trying to write a book. I don't know, has to be going on 8-9 years now. And I'll write pieces here and there. And then I'm like, well, maybe the reason I like to talk so much is because I haven't gotten my story out. And that's part, which I won't go into detail about this either, but I've started a nonprofit for single moms. So my book is kind of coincides with that, like telling my story, the challenges that I overcame as a single mom, the things that I've gone through, the not so great decisions I made and how I dealt with them, what was the result, just all those stories and the trauma and the drama that happened throughout my life as I raised my daughter. So yeah, that's that was one of the things that I was like, it's time. It's time to get that story out of me, whether it goes anywhere or not or whatever, I don't know, but I need to get it out of me. So
I think it will be an intro part of you launching your nonprofit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because your mission is so intertwined in that. So that will goosebumps upon goosebumps right now, like the flow of that and how amazing your dream for your nonprofit is. Like I'm really excited for you to go into that journey, right, of bringing that out and developing that.
And not only that, you are, by putting your story on paper, so to speak, not only helps you process it and get it out, but if you were to share that with somebody else who needs to hear what you have to say, it's that getting your voice out there, because you are valid in your voice and what you have to say. You are valid in your story, and your story can have a tremendous impact, a life-changing impact on somebody else. And that's part of what we experienced when we were at the retreat, was that,
Yeah.
you know, share your story.
And that is kind of what I want to do with it, because I mean, I made some really poor decisions now that I look back, but in the moment, and I recognize this now, I made the best decision I could at the time. And I'm sure there's plenty of single moms out there right now who are probably doing the similar stupid thing that I did, and they're feeling bad about it. But I want them to know, you know, you're not alone. You're not the only person that's ever had that thought, that's ever followed through on that decision. And, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, you make the best decision you can and in that moment as a parent, and then you just have to move on. You have to forgive yourself.
And you got to leave that guilt and shame and let it go down into the earth, right? Like, you just leave it there. It doesn't need to be with you. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it, because I'm also a single mom, and I forget that I'm a single mom because I still had in my head that I was going to be a wife. I like kept telling myself this like story. And so sometimes I forget that I am making all of those decisions, that I am doing all those things for my son as a single mom. And it's hard. And I'm really grateful to have community that I lean on, because we would be somewhere else. Well, we have been somewhere else, right? We've been homeless. We know, good people's, right?
So say that out loud. What are you?
I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom, and I'm okay with that. Yeah.
And what are you not?
I am not a wife. Oh gosh, man. You know, it's like that role, like you're going to grow up and you're going to get married and you're going to be the wife and have the kids and stay home and take care of them, and you're going to do the things. And then that is never how my life worked out.
No, but your dream as you were growing up was to be a mother.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and it's funny that you say that you had that dream. When I was younger, I did not. I didn't want to be I could care less about getting married. I could care less about the White House, big events. I didn't want kids. Now, it's funny to say that after you've had kids, but I mean, as soon as when I do get pregnant, you know, anybody who has ever been pregnant remembers that feeling, that little butterfly flutter in your tummy. And from that very moment, I was in love.
You fall in love, and
I was in love.
Yeah.
I definitely made sure I never had any more kids after that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So like you, I had one vision when I started out of what I thought my life was going to be, and it was exact opposite. So it's and it's just life. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, but life happens for us.
Right.
Exactly. Life happens for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's leave it right there. Life happens for us. So keep aligning yourself with people that are going to help you be in alignment with you.
Figuring out what that looks like.
Yeah. Because for each one of us, we went to the same retreat. We each had very different experiences, but not any less life-changing than the next person.
Right.
It's very powerful. And I can't say thank you to Coach Jackie enough, right? Just thank you for saying yes, Jackie, to yourself. That this is going to be the thing.
Yeah. And that was her first retreat.
Yeah.
And so there's more retreats and things coming up. If you would like to get a hold of Coach Jackie and have an amazing
we're just going to drop her links down there.
I'll put her links in the
How could we not, right?
But also, if you would like to get a hold of Angela Hall, that helpful chick with all things helpful, she's just a phenomenal person and does her job extremely well. And I can't wait to work with her some more and just, continue to get to know her on a
There's my sister
deeper
from
level.
another mister.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we will also have Angela's information in the comments below.
Woohoo!
Or wherever they put them now.
They should be below or to the side or maybe over that side. I don't know if anybody puts them above. I think, yeah, just one or the other. All right. And you go that way. Okay. So thank you so much, Angela, for joining us today.
My pleasure. I missed you guys. I was so looking forward to seeing you today.
Me too.
Us too. Absolutely. And I want to say thank you to our audience for joining us today and learning a little bit more about what we did on our retreat. It was such a blessing. And stay tuned for some words from the cause of the quarter, whichever way it comes.
Coming up next.
Namaste. Mwah.
The Marysville Police Foundation is a 501c3 organization to support these areas of the Marysville Police Department: law enforcement, officer wellness, and the community outreach programs and activities. We look forward to serving you.
We take the mystery and pain out of social media consistency for your business, giving you back time to shine in your zone of genius. Social media is the new branding. It deserves its own attention, thought, and effort. Yet so few businesses actually take this seriously and invest enough time on their strategy. We can do it for you at an affordable rate that will fit into your budget and allow you to pursue other revenue channels as well. The hardest part of social media management is keeping up the consistency to be seen and know what to post, when to post. Are you ready to have everything ready to go for you, saving you time and energy by not having to do it all yourself? Still getting your message out so that people get to know you, like you, and develop trust while opening yourself up to more time for the business of your business where you shine. Working with Women in Leadership, BSMB LLP, is a unique experience that bridges the gap from face-to-face to virtual relationship marketing. Not only do we love to help you shine on social media, we love to share tools to help you grow with us, body, soul, mind, and business. Check out our podcast and YouTube channel for Mindset Mondays, Social Media Training Wednesdays, business interviews and special topics on Fridays, and weekly readings on Sundays. To schedule your consultation or podcast interview, head to our website, www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Our weekly readings on Sunday, our podcast, Mindset Monday, social media training with Heather on Wednesdays, guest interviews, and special topics on Fridays. Thank you for joining us. Find out more and schedule with us online at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com, where you have a spot at the table. Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.